Hey everybody, welcome to day 27 of the Empowered Revolution Roadshow, the Dream Life 111 Day Challenge, and of course, the first day of the rest of your life. It's been a couple days since I did a video with the holidays going on. I apologize, but I'm back in full force. I've had some suggestions for some topics, and the one that resonated with me today was, have I seen any miracles in my life? So I've had to think about that for a minute because, as we discussed before, I'm not a huge religious person, a whole God person, so I actually had to look it up on dictionary.com as I'm driving. I'm going to stop lights, so it's okay. So here's what dictionary.com says. A miracle is an effect or extraordinary event in the physical world that surpasses all known human or natural powers and is ascribed to a supernatural cause. Definition number 2, such an effect or event manifesting or concerning as a work of God. 3, a wonder, marvel. And 4, a wonderful or surpassing example of some quality, so like a miracle of modern science. So with those definitions, of course I will leave the God one to those who are very religious, and I will not cover that one. But as the miracles in my life, I think I see miracles every day. I've seen the birth of 3 of my children, I say that because I have a stepchild who I consider my own. I wasn't there when she was born, but I love her just the same. But I saw the birth of 3 of my children. I was there in the room. I was there the birth of my youngest grandchild as well. I was the surrogate parent because my son-in-law was in Mexico at the time. So, I think that's a miracle in itself. It's an extraordinary event to see the birth of a child. I've seen the birth of animals. And again, I think that whole concept is just amazing because instincts kick in. And while, I know that like my kids who are our parents now have learned some skills of parenting from myself and my wives in my lifetime, I think that a lot of that is an instinct. There's a bond that you get with a child that's yours, or not even yours. There's a bond when you share a love with somebody like that. The perfect example of that is, my lovely stepchild Haley. Her and I have a bond that I don't think it's way different than her mom and her bond. Her mom gave birth to her, raised her on her own for 7-8 years before I came in the picture, and I think that bond they have is very, very strong. But I think that the bond that her and I have is a little different, and it's really strong as well because of how our relationship has evolved in the past 8+ years. So other miracles you see, people talk about drive-by shootings, and there's thousands of bullets going by and one person doesn't get hit at all. I'm not sure it's a miracle. I think it's, undescribable. I think is, people will say it's lucky or it's fate or a miracle, act of God, whatever. But I think it's more of the universe as a whole just making things happen because they need to happen a certain way. Religious people say God works in mysterious ways. I say the universe has its plan for people and will just let people, things will happen that you can't explain. And I'm not sure the universe has, I guess I'd change that. The universe doesn't have a plan because there's no set plan for anybody. It's just there. We make our own destiny. We make our own fate. We make our own luck. Billy Zane, Titanic. But I think that if you're in the right frame of mind, things will happen for you or with you or to you. And if you're in the wrong frame of mind, I think you open yourself up to more, I don't want to say devastation, but more bad things the way you look at it. So I think it's a miracle that, let's take the typhoon that hit Philippines. Thousands of people died and millions of people lived. So is the miracle that the million people lived, or is the miracle that 1,000 people died? the typhoon is the miracle. I mean, how does that happen? It's a strange phenomenon. I know they can predict it with the weather and so forth, but it's still just amazing how that happens in our world. Earthquakes. We understand the concept of how the earthquakes, the plates shift and so forth. We can predict them a lot of times. Sometimes we can't. But that's a miraculous event that I think is amazing. So those are some of the big, gigantic miracles that I want to talk about. But let's talk about the other miracles that people don't always talk about, or it's talked about here and there and passed off as whatever. But I think that a miracle of every day is that some people that maybe are homeless or are starving, that they live another day. There are people that struggle with ailments, cancer, depression, heart problems, and they fight for that, and then I don't want to say they get cured, because I don't think there's any cure for anything. I think it's just a matter of the mind overcoming the body, and I know people, whatever, but I truly think that you can cure yourself of anything through your mind. It's not easy. I get sick still. I get headaches. I get frustrated. I get sad. And I think that I joke with my house that people choose to be sick, and my family doesn't like it so much. But I think it's true. I think that there are examples of miracles throughout the world where somebody will overcome cancer or leukemia or whatever ailment they may have, they overcome it. Or they're told they can never walk again, they walk. They're told they never talk again, they can talk. Or they overcome the disability, like Stephen Hawking, or Christopher Reeve was in a wheelchair for I don't know how many years, and did a lot of things, and it doesn't stop people. There's a lot of military vets who lose limbs or go through traumatic events, and then they survive and they live and they have productive lives. And I think those are the little miracles that we forget to celebrate. I think people think that we have to have this huge event to be a miracle, and it's not. It's, here we are, I'm driving down the road to work, and my heart is beating on its own, I'm breathing on its own, and I'm alive. I'm not doing anything to make sure that happens. It just happens, and that's a miracle. The way the brain works and the body works together is miraculous. It's something we can't even fathom. We know a few things, but we can't figure all of it out. There are different people who say different things, but we use 10% of our brain at most, and that's 90% of our brain not being used. What's that 90% for? If you're a religious person, why does God only let you have 10% of your brain? I think a lot of it is we're not ready for that part of it, because we can't handle things emotionally or spiritually. So that part of the brain doesn't get opened up to everybody. I think there's some people who are brilliant scientists or brilliant people or what have you, and they have part of that brain opened up for some reason, and it's a miracle there. People say there's a fine line between genius and insanity. I think that's because your brain gets opened up to more than just that 10%, and it's hard to handle or hard to comprehend, and it makes people a little crazy. So if you can't handle it emotionally, then you have issues with that. So but there's other miracles, flowers blooming, the leaves changing. I know these are all scientific things you can prove why they do because of the weather change and the sun and so forth, but it's still a miracle that the harmony that the whole world is in sync with each other. That the moon, when we're closer to the moon or full moon, the tides are higher, and solar eclipses, lunar eclipses, winter, spring, summer, fall. These are all just the intricacies that the world and universe has to coexist with each other is just, it's just miraculous. And I think that type of miracle there of the whole universe being connected and working together is, part of the basis of my collective consciousness, that we're all connected somehow and we all steer the world and universe in the direction we want to go. I'm gonna yawn. Sorry. So I think that's where that basis comes from. I think it's important to know that. Part of what I believe and why I believe it is that the whole butterfly effect, that a butterfly flaps its wings somewhere in a rainforest in Africa or wherever the rainforests are, I don't know where they are, that it's going to affect a small child in New York. And I think that does affect, because I think that if we're all in tuned in one aspect of a feeling, that things change. And I'll give an example. So after 9/11 hit, I really think that America and the world kind of united against tyranny. We came together. We all, no matter what the situation was, we all felt the pain of people who were affected by that directly. And I think that we could feel that, nationwide and worldwide. And that was a collective consciousness feeling. We kind of gathered around a certain event and feelings. We were sad. We were frustrated. We were appalled. We were angry. I think we all shared those feelings. A lot has to do with media, but I think it's important to know that type of event we kind of get together and rally behind. It's just like these things that happen, shootings in schools, that the towns rally behind that and they get better. So why can't we do that around the good miracles, not these sad events? But let's wrap our heads around the birth of children, or a child walking that said they couldn't walk, or anything we can pick on, choose from. We should rally about that, because those are the miracles we need to celebrate. So I hope that covers a little bit of the miracles for the day, and tomorrow will be another great lesson or topic, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks.